I swear I should have known the moment I turned into Willow Creek Meadows that something was off. You ever feel that strange shift in the air, like one of those moments in life where everything looks normal on the outside, but deep down, you just know disaster is waiting? That was me sitting in my car, my 8-month pregnant wife breathing heavy beside me, the heat outside pushing close to 100 degrees, and the finish line, our driveway, only a few feet away. What I didn't expect was the HOA president herself blocking us arms-crossed sunglasses on acting like the queen of the cul-de-sac. And within the next 20 minutes, she would leave my wife physically struggling in the sun and tell me with the most disgustingly entitled tone I've ever heard, "Pregnant or not, you wait your turn." That was the moment I realized this woman wasn't just annoying, she was dangerous. We'd only lived in Willow Creek for 6 months. My name's Ethan, and honestly, I'm pretty easygoing. I work in IT. I like keeping to myself. I mow my lawn, wave at neighbors, walk my dog. Nothing crazy. And my wife, Lily, she's the sweetest human on the planet. The kind of person who apologizes when someone else bumps into her, the kind who bakes cookies for holidays, even if she's exhausted. She was 8 months pregnant, waddling through life like a champion, doing her best to stay cool and sane while growing a whole human being. We had just left her OB appointment, and she was tired, really tired. The heat was making her dizzy, so all I wanted was to get her inside into some AC, maybe onto the couch. But when we pulled into our street there, it was a bright red SUV parked sideways across our driveway like it owned the place. I blinked a couple times thinking I had misseen it. Nope. Someone had straight up blocked our driveway, my driveway, so thoroughly I couldn't even angle in. At first I thought, okay, maybe an emergency. Maybe someone got confused. But then I spotted the problem. Standing right there, clipboard in hand, because of course she had a clipboard, was Deborah Klein, our HOA president. Mid-50s, perfectly coiffed blonde hair, wearing a sun visor like she was prepping for a golf tournament, lips pursed into that permanent, "I'm better than you" expression. And she wasn't confused. She wasn't helpless. She was talking, laughing, entertaining the owner of the SUV as if they had every right to be parked like a boulder in front of my home. I rolled down my window and waved, trying to start polite. "Hi, Deborah. Hey, could you ask them to move? My wife's not feeling well. We just need to get into our driveway." She didn't even turn fully toward me, just angled her head slightly like she was doing me a favor by acknowledging my existence. "Oh, Ethan, they're my guests. They'll only be a moment. You can park on the street." I forced a smile. "It's 98 degrees. Lily really needs to get inside." Deborah finally turned, glanced at Lily, who was visibly pale and leaning forward, and shrugged. Shrugged. Like she was judging a minor inconvenience, not a pregnant woman on the verge of overheating. "HOA rules allow temporary use of driveways for guest vehicles," she said, tapping her clipboard like she was quoting scripture. "You'll have to wait." "I've literally never heard of that rule," I said. Well, she snapped, "It exists." No explanation, no empathy. And she had this smirk like she was enjoying the power trip. My wife's breathing was getting shallow. She whispered, "Ethan, I'm really lightheaded." I opened the door and helped her step out, guiding her toward a small patch of shade. Meanwhile, Deborah kept watching us the way someone watches a YouTube ad. They can't skip annoyed, but still feeling superior. "I'm begging you," I said, "just ask them to move the car 2 feet. Deborah raised her chin. "If you continue to argue, I'll have to report you for harassment. I'm protecting community order." "Protecting what? My driveway is my property." She waved her hand dismissively. "Let's not get dramatic. Pregnant women exaggerate sometimes. It's not that hot." I swear for a moment I saw red. Not anger, straight fury. But Lily tugged my sleeve and whispered, "It's okay. Just leave it." It wasn't okay. We ended up walking through the side yard, Lily stepping carefully over uneven grass because the driveway, her safe path, was blocked. I tried shielding her from the sun, but she was sweating and shaking by the time we reached the porch. I looked back and saw Deborah jotting something down like she was documenting us escaping a crime scene. And that night, as if she hadn't done enough, she emailed me an official HOA warning, accusing me of being uncooperative, causing a disturbance, displaying aggression, and trespassing on HOA-controlled lawn areas. Her email said lawn areas plural. Lady, that was my yard. I sat there staring at the screen, stunned adrenaline still swirling through my body. Part of me wanted to march across the street and confront her, but another part of me, an embarrassing part, wondered, am I overreacting? Did I somehow escalate things? Maybe she was just having a bad day. Maybe I misunderstood. Lily saw the email and quietly wiped her eyes. "Maybe we should just let it go," she said, and her voice cracked. And that broke me in a way the HOA letter couldn't. She shouldn't have been the one worrying. She shouldn't have been crying. This was supposed to be her calm time before the baby came, not a battle. But the doubt grew in my chest. I started replaying everything, my tone, my words, whether I looked angry, because that's what happens when someone in power tells you you're the problem. You start believing it. You start folding in on yourself, making yourself smaller. I went to bed feeling defeated, ashamed, even like maybe I didn't handle it right. And that guilt, God, it eats you alive. The next morning, though, things got worse. A brand new metal sign was staked into the ground directly in front of my driveway. No stopping any time. Tow away zone. Just my house. No other driveway had one. And an email blast went out to the entire neighborhood saying a resident is obstructing HOA guests and violating communal harmony. Guess which resident she meant. I nearly threw my phone across the room. She wasn't just abusing her position, she was declaring war. That's when my neighbor, old Mr. Martin, knocked on my door. He's the quiet guy with the beige hat who always waters his lawn exactly at 7 a.m. He looked almost nervous as he said, "Ethan, you should come to my place. I think you'll want to see something." In his living room, he pulled up footage from his security camera. "I didn't want to get involved," he whispered, "but what she's doing isn't right." The footage showed everything. Crystal clear video of Deborah directing her guest to block my driveway, saying the exact words, "Don't worry, I want to teach the new couple a lesson." She laughed as she said it. Laughed. Like it was all a petty game to her. I think my jaw dropped. My hands trembled with a mix of relief I wasn't crazy and this bitter anger that tasted almost metallic. Why would she do this?" I asked. "She's been trying to expand her authority," Martin said. "Anyone who doesn't kiss up becomes a target." I thanked him and he squeezed my shoulder. "You don't deserve this. Your wife definitely doesn't." That was the moment my doubt evaporated. Like a rope snap. The shame, the guilt, the self-blame, it all burned away. I had the truth now. And truth is a powerful thing when someone has been using lies as their weapon. On Martin's advice, I contacted code enforcement. Officer Ramirez, calm, direct, sounded like he's dealt with HOA tyrants before, said, "Send me the video. This could be a clear violation." Then he surprised me by saying, "There's an HOA meeting Friday night. You should be there. I think I should too." Friday came fast. I walked into the community hall with shaky hands, my heart pounding so loudly it felt like everyone in the room could hear it. The place was packed. Neighbors sitting in folding chairs, fans buzzing overhead, people glancing at me like they'd already chosen a side. Deborah stood at the front, clipboard in hand, like always acting confident, acting untouchable. She started the meeting by saying, "We're here to address the misconduct of resident Ethan Moore." People murmured. She dramatically held up a stack of papers. "I have documented evidence of repeated rule violations, hostility toward guests, and unsafe behavior." I raised my hand. "Can I respond?" She didn't even look at me. "You may speak after I finish." I could feel eyes on me, some sympathetic, some curious, some judging. My stomach twisted. For one painful moment, all those old doubts came rushing back. What if they believe her? What if I'm about to be humiliated publicly? What if all of this blows up in my face? But then I saw Lily sitting in the second row, hand on her belly, giving me this gentle, exhausted smile. The kind that says, "Please stand up for us." And everything inside me steadied. When Deborah finally allowed me to speak, more like when she ran out of breath, I stepped forward. "I have a video," I said, my voice louder than I expected. "I think everyone should see it." Deborah's head snapped up. "What video?" she demanded. I connected my phone to the projector. The screen lit up. And there she was, clear as daylight. Her voice, her face, her words. "I want to teach the new couple a lesson." The room erupted, gasps, whispers, a few outright shouts of, "Are you serious?" Deborah's mouth fell open, her posture crumbling. She took a step back like the truth physically pushed her. That's fake," she stammered. "That video is doctored. It's AI." Officer Ramirez stood. "Mrs. Klein, I've reviewed the metadata. This footage is authentic, and using your position to block a resident's private driveway is a violation of city code." His voice echoed through the hall. "Furthermore, targeting residents and issuing false warnings is grounds for removal." Deborah looked around desperate. "You all know me," she pleaded. "I've always acted in the best interest of the community." Someone shouted, "You threatened my kid for riding a scooter." Another yelled, "You fined me because my curtains weren't beige enough." People started standing up one by one, listing all the petty power moves she'd pulled. It was like years of resentment pouring out at once. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. By the time the board began the vote, Deborah was shaking, clutching her clipboard like it could shield her from reality. The results were immediate and brutal. She was suspended from her role as HOA president, effective immediately. The room wasn't cheering, it wasn't celebratory, it was quiet, heavy, final. Deborah walked out. No dramatic speech, no exit monologue, just a defeated figure clutching a symbol of authority she no longer had. When I stepped outside, the cool night air hit me like a wave of relief. Lily met me at the door, slipped her hand into mine, and whispered, "You did it." I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt still, like the storm finally passed. And if there's one thing this mess taught me, it's this. When someone abuses power, silence is their strongest weapon. Speak up because truth doesn't need authority to win.